Tippecanoe County leaders in Washington, D.C. get a positive reaction from both Indiana senators today. As News 18 reported last night, one of the biggest priorities for this trip is policy changes to allow the Army Corps of Engineers to work on riverbank stabilization along the Wabash River. News 18's Dan Klein is in our nation's capital with the group and reports why leaders say that personal communication is important and what each senator says about the looming spending cuts known as the sequester.
It's only a matter of time. In just a few hours, the mandatory $85 billion spending cut will kick in. But area leaders are hopeful that this leads to a change of culture here on Capitol Hill. Senator Dan Coates was a little late Thursday morning, fresh in from an Economic Committee hearing on the eve of the sequester. But much of the meeting with the 40-plus member delegation focused on local issues like the riverbank stabilization needs. The meeting here wasn't overly long, but that's not really the point. Local officials say when congressmen or senators and their aides know your names, in part through visits like this one, it makes a difference.
They know our faces and they know with some of the struggles that we have, that helps. That's half the battle right there. Because then when we're asking them to give us some assistance, they're not just talking about a particular bill, a piece of paper with words on it. They know that they're talking about a person and a community.
Face to face, people to people. That's the job, and I'm always pleased to be able to do it.
It's the same story Thursday afternoon with Senator Joe Donnelly.
There's nothing more important than being able to spend time face to face.
Yes, I think this makes a huge difference.
For many, it's the first meeting with Donnelly, who took office as senator less than 2 months ago. He says the biggest difference with this job, a much smaller pool of colleagues.
You have the opportunity to try to craft more legislation, get things done, not necessarily quicker, but be able to put coalitions together to actually move things forward.
One thing not moving forward here in Washington, the sequester. One day before it's official, it already seems like a done deal. Coates told the delegation that Republicans must hold the line and not raise taxes.
The president insists that the only way to solve our problem is to continue to raise taxes. He got a big tax increase just 2 months ago, and now he wants more. And Republicans are saying, yeah, but the real problem is spending, not taxes.
But Donnelly says revenue must go up. He prefers by eliminating some tax credits.
With revenue at a very low historic number, that for us to get to a balanced budget where our children and grandchildren don't have to pay the bills that are being run up now, we have to significantly reduce spending, and we have to have some more revenue.
While there may not be good news on that issue, area leaders overall seem happy with what they hear, including Donnelly's belief that the Washington culture could change.
It was great. For us local folks, it's always very impressive when one of our federal legislators understands some of our local issues.
There were several really great things that we heard. The fact that the dysfunction could possibly come to an end at some point, that there could be a farm bill, an immigration bill. So, I mean, there's very encouraging, and we look forward to working with him in the next few years.
I also asked Senator Coates and Senator Donnelly if there were any developments on gun control legislation. Coates, who voted for the Brady Act 20 years ago, tells me that there are too many proposals on which to comment specifically. Donnelly says that committees are currently working on how to strengthen background checks. He also says that he'd be willing to consider requirements regulating high-capacity magazines. Reporting on Capitol Hill, Dan Klein, News 18.